the Manipur CM Biren has in fact met with Home Minister Amit Shah, grappling with the situation in the state roiled by ethnic clashes. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh met Union Home Minister Amit Shah in New Delhi a day after the latter held an all-party meeting on the steps to be taken to restore normalcy. Now, in his Twitter post after the meeting with Shah, Biren Singh said that he briefed the Union Home Minister about the evolving situation on the ground in Manipur. Under Amit Shah ji's close supervision, the state and central government has been able to control the violence to a great extent in the past week. It may be noted that there has been no report of casualties due to the violence since the 13th of June. Now, this is a tweet that has been put by CM Biren Singh after the meet with the Home Minister. But that's not the only the developments that we are seeing. There has been reports, and this is in Indian Express's page 8, where we have a story about how the army had to go ahead and let go of certain militants who had been there. And it is interesting to note that on the ground, as they were carrying these militants, there was a standoff that had happened where 12 insurgents, which was there with the army, what they found was that they had to be released. And the story goes like this, that the released 12 insurgents after the mob standoff to avoid casualties. Now, this is the kind of problems that the army is also facing in Manipur. The army released 12 members of the banned insurgent group KYKL, who were apprehended in a village in Imphal East district of Manipur. In the late afternoon, the army said that the decision to let off the captured insurgents was taken to avoid casualties and possible collateral damage amid the ongoing conflict in the state. One of the 12 cadres has identified as the self-styled Lieutenant Colonel Mirongtem Tamba alias Uttam, the mastermind of the 2015 ambush on a convoy of 6th Dogra Regiment in Manipur, Chandel, in which 20 soldiers were killed. Now, this is the kind of difficulties that the army is facing. On one side, they have to deal with the militants, and on the other side, they are taking a big risk when it comes to getting these insurgents move through the civilian ranks, and as many of the civilians have, especially women, have stalled the army from carrying on with their. So, Pankaj, you can see how the situation is emerging. Biren Singh is having a meeting or rather had a meeting with Amit Shah, and then on the street you have a situation where you have these militant groups being let off after their arrest, because and even one of them is said to be a suspect with regard to the attack on the Dogras. I think there is a lot to cover when it comes to Manipur, especially on the ground, because it is not an easy task, one. Secondly, May 3rd onwards, the violence has been going on. And what we understand is that the violence is yet to be controlled to a large extent. But recently there has been a lull in the violence, which is good news, where the Manipur state apparatus has been able to, ensure that there is peace, and the central government has also ensured that there is peace. So when it comes to Manipur, it is a big situation that we are looking at. We are looking at the possibility of peace. At the same time, how to restore it is the big question that we've been asking. Meanwhile, just one more before I come to you. There is something that has been mentioned in the Hindu as well. Well, after meeting Shah, Biren says will reach out to the Kukis, is what he said. So, speaking to the Hindu, Mr. Singh said that he had detailed discussions with Mr. Shah, who advised him to establish peace in the state and revive dialogue across communities, including the Mera Paibis, the two women's group, and civil society groups as well. Mr. Shah is learned to have told the Chief Minister that he needs to speak to the women's group as it has become a problem for the security forces. Now, this is the story that the Hindu has put out. The Chief Minister has told that he has to drive home the point among the Meteis that Kukis will be reached out to. He has to convince the people and take care of the state in a bipartisan manner, is what one of the sources have told the Hindu as well, that this is the instruction that has been given to Biren Singh, saying that first, you need to speak to the women's groups and stop them from hindering the possibility of peace in the place by blockading some of these convoys of the security forces and stopping them from going ahead. And second, that there will be negotiations with the Kukis, and that the point has to be driven to the Meteis, saying that both of them have to come onto the negotiating table. How do you see this, Pankaj? A lot of developments, in fact, after that meeting.
Well, indeed, Varghese, the developments have been, quite thick and fast. And when it comes to Manipur, we saw the all-party meeting on Saturday, where at least one consensus came out that president's rule is not the option. And secondly, the way opposition is breathing down the government's neck, saying that Prime Minister is silent on the matter. It's a two-pronged strategy that the uh, ruling dispensation needs to get a handle on. First is how to deal with the situation, and secondly, how to placate and how to give the correct message out. Because with each passing day, the chorus about whether the situation is being handled properly or not is something that is being debated on. Now, Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, he is in the eye of storm. We have seen the Home Minister visiting Manipur, where at some times you would see Biren Singh with the Home Minister, and many a times when Home Minister was visiting certain communities, then Biren Singh was not there; he was missing. So that way, the acceptability of Biren Singh as the Chief Minister is also under the scanner. As far as the common people are concerned. Secondly, a separate administration demand is there, which all the parties have summarily rejected. No president rule is also the situation. Now, what is happening on the ground is something which is an uh, expected, I would say, response from the general people there. Those who are obviously the battle lines are drawn clearly divided on the lines of Kuki, Meiteis, and Naga and other tribal identities, and that is something which the government is not able to crack, how to bring them together. And as far as this pent up desire or anger is concerned, now this is finding an outlet. And I think from 3rd of May, when the violence actually started, we are almost approaching July now. So May, June, July, 3 months is what 2.5 months have already clearly passed with this you know, chaos that is happening in the northeastern part of the country. Now, why the visit, the meeting of Biren Singh with Chief Minister or with Home Minister is concerned is important, because this is not the first meeting that is happening, first of all. Secondly, whether it is too little or too late, or whether it is a knee-jerk reaction that is coming now, all those things are coming into play as of now. And for Biren Singh, obviously, to say that all will be well and things would fall in place and we are monitoring the situation is actually not going to cut any ice any further. There has to be some concrete steps to be taken, whether the use of armed forces has to be increased or not, the placement, the placing the deployment of the forces, whether it has to be increased or not, because clearly we are seeing how the local people are blocking their way. They are not welcoming them. We saw the other day a group of people with folded hands asking the convoy to return and not letting them enter their town or city. That is also being seen there. And with this kind of scenario, obviously the local governance has clearly lost its significance and value as far as in the eyes of the common people of the state is concerned. But yes, it has to be resolved, and the government maybe as of now is taking each and every step in a very calculative manner and not jumping onto conclusion and not using immediate measures to quell the violence or in order to maintain law and order. Prime Minister Modi too is maintaining monitoring the Manipur situation, and as the Home Minister had said that he is guiding the government with full sensitivity to find the solution to the problem. So all these things are happening as of now. Home Minister had also said that 36,000 security personnel, including 40 IPS officers, have been deployed in Manipur, while 20 medical teams have also been dispatched, and 1,800 looted weapons have been surrendered to the authorities. This is also one key aspect, Varghese, that needs to be looked at. how the looted weapons are being used.